But again, thanks for joining today. So Jonathan's spoken about, quite a few of the topics actually within this area. So what I'm going to do is more focus on just the sort of networking security side, the elements, the solutions, the systems we have running in Azure that can help you secure everything from a network security perspective. And then also I would touch on the threat protection piece, which would be, Microsoft Defender for Cloud, those elements. But tomorrow there is an event which covers Microsoft Sentinel, our cloud native SIEM. So if you really want to learn as much as you can about that one, that would be definitely tomorrow. Today we'll just, kind of quickly discuss what it is and etc. But it'd be mostly focused on network security and threat protection today. And then in Q&A, like I was just already mentioned, just please type it in the chat and we'll get to you towards the end of this presentation. So Azure Network Security, basically offers you the full benefits of cloud native services for securing your cloud and hybrid networks. And basically across infrastructure, application delivery, and then we have it basically broken down. We have controls which segment, we have intelligent threat protection. So some of the services leverage our threat intelligence platform to help you make decisions whether you should, the traffic, accessing your services is risky or not. Encrypt traffic, basically what would be considered north-south, sort of inbound from the internet, east-west, which is inside your network for the most part. And then private access, which are things like service endpoints. So if you're using a storage account in Azure, and you don't need to expose it to the internet, for example, you would use what's called a private endpoint or something called private link, and basically restrict it so no one from the outside can ever even attempt to access the service, right? And then if you want to expose that sort of service to the outside, really, we have services which you use, which you see there under secure application delivery to help you publish those in a secure manner to people on the outside. And all these services are cloud native, so you get auto scaling built in, high availability, integrate with DevOps. So you can, if you bring in infrastructure as code, you can do it that way, etc. And sorry, my mouse scroll wheel went to the next slide. But network security, so if you want to look at sort of like a layered view, right, sort of from the outside in, we've got the front door, which is the sort of regional, well, the global load balancing solution. So if you want to run a very high available system and make it usable from across the globe, and they have the right services given to the right people in an area close to them, so front door will be the one that kind of does that. Then we have distributed denial of service protection that protect you from those large scale distributed denial of service attacks that are quite prevalent today, and that leverages our Azure Global Backbone, etc. And after that, you go back to the VNet level, which is the virtual network. So within Azure, you would basically segment your networking environment into a number of VNets, and we have like a lot of standard deployment practices in that area, which I don't need to go into. But then once you get to the VNet level, we have Azure Firewall, which is our stateful firewall as a service. And then when you get back to, again, sort of taking services and exposing them to the internet, but within a more localized area. So only within a single region, you've got Application Gateway, which also has web application firewall features for for less complex installations. And then even one more level in, you've got network security groups, application security groups, and routing protections that we'd have all the way down. So all of those, depending on the architecture of the service you're delivering, they could potentially all come into play. And we'll show like a very quick sample architecture later on. So, this is basically taking a zero trust approach. You want to try to stop attacks before they get too far in. So obviously this is defense in depth, but you have there's basically multiple opportunities here in your deployment to make sure that hopefully if that first one doesn't block your attack, one of the next levels within this layered approach here is going to stop the attack.